there's something so special about him and God in the sense that they show up in every single realm and they're confident and comfortable in those places. And one of those spaces is the fact that you have been in the rock and roll, rock and funk industry for over 25 years. He is basically a rock and roll superstar and a vocalist of the White Tie Rock Ensemble, which is a classic rock tribute band. And he's phenomenal. And so I just love that God is in the midst of all sound, and it doesn't matter necessarily the genre. It's the heart of the man that he looks to.
Wow. I mean, I don't even know what to say after that. And I'm going to say congratulations. You're the first one ever to get White Tie Rock Ensemble correctly.
Come on.
Everybody always, they'll say White Tie Rock, they'll say White Tie Ensemble. You're the first one to get White Tie Rock Ensemble correct. So congratulations and thank you for that.
Thank you. I did my research.
I've
yet to see you live. I've yet to see you live in action, but I know that that's going to happen this year. So I cannot wait.
Yes, you have an open invitation.
Thank you. So talk us through the evolution of being in that ensemble, of being a rock and roll superstar. And was your faith like always in the midst of that evolution?
Good question. I've always been a rock and roll kid. It was my thing. My first love was the Beatles, and my dad and mom, they would reward me with bass hits with Beatles records. So by the time I was 8 years old, I had every Beatle record. I knew everything about them. It used to drive my dad crazy, and he's the one who turned me on to it. So I was always into that. I was always going to church. I grew up going to church. I grew up in the Southern Baptist Church. I was baptized at 10 years old in 1982. And I will say that I have called a couple of our friends that you know, and I'm going to be baptized again this year.
Yeah, amazing. Oh my gosh, that is the best experience. I'm so excited for you.
Well, the thing is, when you're a child, you definitely have that thing, and I feel like children sometimes are closer to God, right? But as we grow up and as I went through my evolution and really got into the music, other things kind of got into that, right? And I always had my relationship with God, and I'm still answering your question, by the way. I always had my relationship with God, and I always prayed, mostly to forgive me for my sins, because I was doing so much that I probably shouldn't have done.
Repent, change your mind. Exactly. We can do it. It's okay.
Exactly. Living that rock and roll lifestyle. And I loved to go see live music. That was my thing. And I really got into the Grateful Dead, which is, was a traveling circus, if you will. And I went for the music. A lot of people went, oh, you went for the drugs or you went for the people. No, I was really, really into the music. I saw them 122 times. And there was time where there's songs that I saw them play once, and then songs that I saw them play 50 times. So I was in that. And yes, there was a lot of stuff I shouldn't have been doing involved in that. And then as I came out of that, I decided to not be on the audience side of the stage, but to be on the performing side of the stage. I always could sing. I knew I could. That was my gift. So I started playing in bands at 27. Now, I did have garage bands at 12, 15, that type of thing. But at 27, I started playing in, like you said, funk bands. I had a band called Goodfoot, after the James Brown song, Get on the Goodfoot. And that was great. And I did that for 10 years. But it was the clubs and the bars, and I had kids, and, I was out late. And, I would get home at 3 a.m., sleep for 3 hours, get up at 6, take the kids to school, go to work, that type of thing. So I decided after 10 years, I was going to, hang up my cleats and not perform. And my dear brother in White Tie Rock Ensemble, who runs the whole thing, Jonathan Clark, called me a couple months after that. And he said, hey, I'm going to do a couple of one-off shows. We're going to introduce the orchestra kids. He and my wife and his wife teach the Escambia County Honors Orchestra. So he said, we want to teach the kids more than Bach and Beethoven. We want to teach them Beatles, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin. So I said, okay, what's the first show? And he said, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. And I said, okay, I just quit playing. And he said, yeah, I know. And I said, so I'm really not interested, but I like what you're doing with the kids. So I'll do that. But I have 2 conditions. He said, okay. And I said, the first condition is I have nothing to do with the business side of it. I'm done. Because in Goodfoot, I was a booking agent. I was the tax man. I did everything. And so then when we started White Tie, he said, okay, I'll do that. And then I said, the second thing is we have to play Beatles Abbey Road second. And he said, okay. And so coincidentally, our next show, April 23rd, is Beatles Abbey Road in the 10,000 seat arena. So 10 years removed from that, we've grown and advanced. Well, everybody in the band was in a praise and worship band at Gulf Breeze United Methodist Church. They still are. And so I love that. I always had my faith, and I was like, wow, these guys can be in rock and roll, but still be Christians.